mean, you all got it, right?
No, I didn't get it, Wes. I just magically appeared here. I mean, everything Wes sends goes to my spam folder because I have it set up that way.
Thanks. Just dump him over there. It's fine.
Yeah, this exhibit of moon landing photos is sponsored by Frank.
Yes, a temporary exhibit.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Finders Flippers Resell Podcast, the best mediocre podcast on YouTube. How you doing this evening, gentlemen?
Hey, doing great.
Doing good. Hey, we're so average, it's good. I like it. Guys, episode 37, welcome. We have a special guest coming up and joining us today. We know you guys love when we have guests. And be sure, if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. We got good stuff coming.
Well, Stewart, what did you think about me and Melanie traipsing into your little store there at Bearden Hill?
Glad y'all found it.
Yeah, it took us a little while.
You should have went over to West End too. You were just right down the street.
Well, we drove by it. I did see it. We had some stuff we were doing, so I had to keep moving. But I got done what I wanted to get done.
I was waiting for the part of the video where you went to the one with the marriage certificate and then just slid it into your coat pocket.
You should have got out your fingerprint kit and dusted it for fingerprints. Did Greensboro have any flooding, Johnny?
No, it was rainy, but really not that bad.
I think it split us right down the middle. You know, we were to the left, and Johnny, you were to the right. All those people that was affected for sure.
We were kind of right in the eye of the hurricane, I think. If you look, I mean, everything was kind of spinning around Knoxville. I mean, it rained. You know, my brothers and I had that yard selling weekend. We went down and got an Airbnb in Cleveland and went yard selling mostly in Chattanooga. And, hey, Johnny, did you see the new feast stuff on Poshmark that's going into effect tomorrow?
Yeah, interesting.
I mean, I hope it works better in Macari. As soon as Macari started making the buyers pay fees, I mean, my sales just quit. I mean, I haven't sold like 2 things on Macari since that happened. So, I mean, Poshmark's a bigger marketplace, I think. I mean, I guess at least you're splitting it 50, basically 50-50 down the middle now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a way for them to get more fees, I guess, without passing the extra money onto the seller, because I looked at their example for a $50 sale. Before it was like $10 you paid. Now it's like you pay $6 and the buyer pays $6.
Did you call him Seagal?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I started saying golf because I knew it was.
Oh, I thought you said Seagal. I was like, oh no, it's David Beckham, not Steven Seagal.
Names aren't my strong suit. Here, let me just practice. Let me practice the consignment chat names real quick. Molly Samantha Libby, got it. So there we go.
Oh yeah, happy 50th to Libby.
Happy 50th. I have not seen it.
Yeah, it's on the Consignment Chat's Instagram page. All of their closest friends are in the video, so that's...
We're your only friends. You don't need anybody else. I have officially sold all my Bills tickets.
I thought you were going to go to a couple of games.
Nah. Money will make you do crazy things.
Well, let's go ahead and let's talk about it. I mean, since you brought it up, I took it on the chin earlier in the day on Sunday with my Steelers losing 27-24 to the Colts. Didn't play very well.
No, my Bills forgot to get off the bus in Baltimore.
Oh yeah, you got.
They went to Baltimore and then forgot to get off the bus.
In case you didn't know, the Titans did win this weekend.
See, I think that's why.
Kudos to you. So yeah, it was just one of those topsy-turvy weekend.
I think it was because Will Levis got hurt. So
probably
he had already thrown an interception, then he got hurt. In the Titans.
Well, gentlemen, we have a special guest this evening, and I'm going to go ahead and bring her in right now. none other than Miss Kathy Terrill. Kathy, how you doing this evening?
Doing good. I heard the football talk. See, we're Yankee fans, so we're still talking baseball here.
Kathy, I'm an Orioles fan, and I'm low-key just crying
Johnny,
off in
good
the
for
corner.
you, because they are playing great. So good for you. Good team.
Johnny's trying to keep it under wraps. He don't get.
I gave him a pep talk.
It worked. Keep going.
They let you come in the clubhouse and go, all right, gentlemen.
They did. I'm like the George Costanza of the Baltimore Orioles. You know, I tell them how to hit, and
That's
So,
funny.
Miss Kathy, how are you? Long time no see. It's not too long, but
No.
how have
Ready
you
for
been?
fourth quarter. Fourth quarter,
Ready?
here we come, guys.
Okay, so go ahead, take us into the fourth quarter. What are some things we need to be thinking about as we enter
I
into
hear-
the fourth quarter?
I think no matter where you are in the political spectrum, and I sort of steer clear of politics, is we're in a tight economy. And no matter who wins the election, it's going to stay tight for a while. There's not a magic pill. There's not a magic wand. However, what I hear sometimes with sellers, and this is true now, there's always something going on. We went through the pandemic, then we came off the pandemic. Brick and mortars opened back up. That changed selling. But basically, there's always something going on. And there's always competition. And there'll always be something going on in world affairs that's going to impact our selling. And so when I work with sellers and also just sort of watching my own mind is something is selling every minute of every day and every second of every day. And what I choose is to focus on that. Now, that being said, because sellers do come to me, and I'm sure to you guys too, and they're in real pain because they might have, normally they get a certain amount of sales, 5 a day, 10 a day, 3 a day, whatever it is. And all of a sudden they flatline. And that's scary because whether you're a part-time seller or a full-time seller, the money that you're making selling is going somewhere. It's going towards your kids' education. It's going towards the family vacation. It's going towards your mortgage, car payments, it's bills for the most part. Yes, there are people that are hobby sellers and it's fun. They just love selling and it's something that's fun and that's great. But for a lot of people, it's going somewhere. It's paying for something. So when that income's not coming in, it's freaking scary. And I've been there, right? You have all these sales coming in and then all of a sudden it's like nothing. It's scary. And people that say it's not, I just sort of go, well, you know what? Good for you. But then you got to grab your mind and go, okay, what can I do? So going into fourth quarter, because right now we're going to say, it's October and it's 2024. What are people buying, right? And I know Christmas sells year round because I sell it year round. But man, they are in Halloween mode right now. It is full tilt Halloween. If you've got any kind of Halloween costume, and not only, and don't forget, it's the whole family, right? Gone are the days that it's just the kids. You got the grown-ups dressing up to coordinate with their kids. You've got pets. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but here in New York, people are very serious about Halloween costumes for their pets. We have a Halloween pet parade. I mean, this is New York, and New York is not the only place that does this. Is pet things, right? It's all the pet Halloween stuff. And you guys know this because you're out there in the suburbs, which here in New York, we're in apartment buildings. It's the outdoor decorations it's like Christmas. It's off the charts, the stuff that people decorate their yards with. I remember last year, the skelly that Home Depot sold, that 12-foot skeleton, they sold out of them from what I hear. And people were getting crazy price. And it's not a cheap thing. I mean, I priced it this year in July. It was like $150, if I remember correctly. But people were paying crazy prices because they wanted it.
So, Kathy, right now you've got a spare bedroom with about, 8 of them?
With tons of those skellies, right? I actually I do source some Halloween stuff. And because I have chosen to keep my inventory in my home, I did have a storage unit for a while. And we can talk about that, about whether you want to keep it in your home. I'm noticing I see inventory with Stewart. I see plants with Johnny. Different things work for different people. And you got to think about your space. If you've got a garage, if you've got a she shed or a he shed, If you've got a basement, one of my girlfriends, the basement literally runs the entire length of their house. I mean, it's gigantic. So she's got tons of storage space. Is you got to take that into consideration when you're sourcing things like 12-foot skeletons. But really think about, people. And I think part of it, even with the economy being what it is, it's a release for people. You got to think about that too. People will get economical sometimes with themselves, but they are not economical necessarily with their children and with their pets. And I think the home decor thing it's a way to express yourself. And I think really it's like to express yourself, just sort of get out of yourself and to have fun. Because when times are tough, people want to have fun. And the outdoor decor is a way to do that. But to think about that, then we go straight into Thanksgiving, then straight into Christmas and Hanukkah. And I wanted to remind people too, depending on what you're sourcing, don't forget cruise season. Again, instead of, people might have done a 2-week cruise in the past, and now they're doing a 5-day cruise. So the way they're economizing is a shorter cruise. But man, people love to cruise. I mean, I don't know if they love to cruise. And you think, well, what are they wearing? And that's, if you're a clothing seller. And then also luggage, the fanny packs. What kind of gear are they going to be taking with them on their cruise? Because people are very, very serious about cruising. And to really look at that, so maybe a little more thought in what you're sourcing. And be careful, because with this economy, you might, for instance, have sold something a year ago and you got $50 for it or $80 for it. And then you'll see it. You're out at the yard sale, or perhaps you're sourcing retail. So you sourced it at Home Depot or Lowe's. You sourced it at Camper World, and you'll see it again and you'll go, right? And you jump on it and you forget to check the price. Yep. And with eBay now, if you're not aware of this product research, which used to be Terapeak, it's on mobile. Mm-hmm. And they give you 3 years of data, which is really good because they're, it's a lot of data. So you can really see whether this thing sells. And you can also see if there's been any price fluctuation. Because when you had it a year ago, you might have gotten that $80, but guess what? You ain't going to get $80 anymore. Or, even better news, now it's going for $120. It's like, yay! But double check. Yeah. Because any seller that's been selling for a while, I'm going to raise my hand on this, you see it and you forget. Yep. Because you sold it maybe 3 months ago, maybe 2 months ago, and it's very much like the stock market. Yeah, 3 months ago, that's what you got, but you ain't getting that no more.
Yeah. Hey, Kathy, quick question on the product research. So how do you balance, because you can look at solds and then you can also look currently listed. So what's your strategy on, look, so many of these sold in the last 6 months at this dollar amount. Then you look and see what things are listed for. I mean, you personally, where do you try to hit your price point? Are you compared to
a category, Stewart? Because it's going to vary on the item. Otherwise, I can just pick one. You want me just to pick a category, or do you want to pick?
That's fine. Just kind of. I know a lot of people get so hung up on. I'm sorry. I just know a lot of people get so hung up on looking at solds that they never even consider the other ones that are already listed and what people are asking.
No. And you've got to. But so the thing is that you look at the solds, but you got to scan it through. And this is where a lot of people get themselves stuck. I mean, I'll pick something like teddy bears because it's such a huge category. But they don't look at things like the color, the size. Okay. So they'll see average price teddy bear. And there's a lot of filters in research too. And again, when you're selling a $20 item, you should not be doing an hour and a half of research, right? You need to be doing 5 minutes quickly, unless it is a high ticket item, something you're going to make good money on. Then you spend a little more time. But you take a look at it and you've got to look at size. You've got to look at color. Sometimes with some things, there's some brands of jeans where they make the high-end stuff is made in Europe. And then they have the same sort of look. Jean is made in Mexico. And the European ones obviously are going to go for a lot more money than the made in Mexico. It's like they have a Costco line and then they have a boutique line. So you've really got to be careful with where it's manufactured, with the size, with the color. So when you're scanning, because you'll look at it and you go, they have average price. You go, oh, I'm going to make $50 on this. Look at it. Are you looking at used? Are you looking at new? Are you looking at the right size? Are you looking at the right color? And then, yes, go look at the listings. But Stewart, you know this because especially when you're new, this can happen. Michael Kors purse, that you found and it's authentic, right? Or a friend of yours, gave it to you to sell and it's authentic because they bought it at Macy's. And you go online and they're listed for $500. Actually, this is a purse I was just researching for a client. Brand new, these purses go for $240. I mean, they're really, really, really pretty. But hers is used and it has pen marks on it. So used, immediately the price goes down and there's a visible defect to the item. Now the defect's on the inside of it, it's in the lining, but still it's you get more money if it doesn't have pen marks on the inside. And there's a really big price difference, depends on the condition of the item, how much imperfection there is, chips or marks, especially with purses, it'll be visible signs of wear on the outside and where the visible signs of wear are. So the ones that sold, you got to scan through and look at them and click through and look at the pictures quickly and get an idea of the condition of the item. Because just because somebody's got one up for $500, Stewart, this, doesn't mean that in a million years, they're going to get the $500 or the $400. Some sellers will take stuff and throw it up high. This happens a lot in sporting cards, which I've bought and sold some, because they just want to see if somebody's going to come at them. Right, Jenny? Because we're in playoffs, right? So, and I actually have some Aaron Judge cards. I've got some good ones. I might
Sorry to hear that.
I might throw one up. We also have it's an Oriole.
I would throw one up too. I actually would throw them all up.
Oh, you're so funny. Who's the catcher? Who's the Baltimore Oriole catcher? He's really good.
Adley Rutschman.
Okay, we've got one of his cards. Okay, great player. We got it at a good price when he was first up, so I know I can make money on it. I might throw it up for a crazy price just to see if somebody's going to come at it, because watching the games, they're not buying it. They're buying out of emotion.
Yeah.
This is really true with sports.
It's game by game or at bat. Somebody all of a sudden hits, a grand slam. Boom! You throw the card up. You might get $900 when normally you would only get $500 or $600 because of the emotion going on. It's really, really interesting. No, my husband's actually ordered me because we have a really good Aaron Judge card. He's like, do not list this card. I'm like, okay.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Kathy, because, you're right. Sports can drive whole economies. Knoxville, where we live, is a good example. When Tennessee was no good for 10 years,
Oops.
You couldn't give Vol stuff away. I think it hurt retail. And they've been, pretty good the last 3 years. And it's amazing just, you can list something Tennessee right now and it sells immediately, when you couldn't.
Kathy, have you ever visited Knoxville before?
I have not been to Knoxville,
No.
but I have been to Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
And had a blast. I didn't know you guys back then because otherwise we definitely would have gotten together. But yeah,
Johnny's becoming a big Knoxville fan.
I'm a huge Knoxville fan. I don't live in Knoxville, but I do visit Knoxville.com.
I love it. But again, you think of things where there might be heightened emotion. Honestly, things like award shows is another one. So if you've got music memorabilia or you've got media, and media will still sell. If all of a sudden X star gets the Grammy, the Country Music Award, the Oscar, the Tony, all of a sudden their stuff will start to sell. And sadly, too, this when the celebrities pass, there's like about there's like a 2 or 3 day window where all of a sudden their stuff will fly out the door. And you can't source for that unless you're just sourcing like older celebrities, that kind of thing. But all of a sudden it'll spike and it'll sell. I had a friend who had Shirley Temple dolls, and they were just sitting there because, again, years ago, Shirley Temple dolls sold. And then when Shirley Temple Black passed, the doll sold. So sometimes it's just being patient.
So is it safe to say that a lot of Pete Rose stuff is going now?
Yeah. That kind of thing.
Kathy, we've been trying to work with Wes because he's been thinking of changing his name to I Love to Be Hoarding. So what kind of advice would you have for Wes?
Is he holding on to stuff?
He is. His wife is the seller.
Listen, I'm literally just going back to my wardrobe. That's all.
Oh, you're so funny. The thing is that when you're holding on to a lot of inventory, and it can be hard because people are very emotional about shopping, you're looking at cash. People can call it whatever they want, cash piles, death piles, but you're looking at money. And when you've got money tied up in inventory, it's one thing if it's listed, it's potential income now. But if it's not listed, it's money. You're looking at money. You're looking at $500, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. And I realize it's a lot of fun to shop. But grabbing your mind and finding ways to make listing as much fun as shopping. Because if you don't, honestly, you're really not running a business, you're running a hobby, because we're in it to make the money. But again, if it's part-time, and everybody sells for different reasons. If it's part-time, some people are getting rid of collections of their own. They're downsizing. I've had people where they know the value of their collection. Like, let's say they have got the baseball cards, but their family has zero, as shocking as this might be, zero interest in the New York Yankee cards that, the family holds, is that that you should sell them because you know what they're worth, or Baltimore Orioles, because they're going to probably give it to the Salvation Army, which I'm sure the Army will be very glad because they'll be selling it to resellers. But the family members are choosing to sell it because they know what it's worth. But
Kathy,
really,
whenever we use examples for Wes, we typically use Beanie Babies. It's just a hypothetical example.
It's so funny. It's so funny. Where the trends on stuff, where, that was so hot with eBay and then just died. But you look at Funko Pops, they're hot, but it feels like it's a trend that's going to come and go too. So when you're on a trend, when something's really hot, I used to sell a lot of fitness products, and fitness is very trendy. Very trendy. Is if you've got a source, legitimate, of course, for something that is really, really hot. It's just you got to really, 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 really watch it. And when it starts to drop, or if all of a sudden a lot of offshore sellers are getting involved in it and they're bootlegging it, just get out. Just get out. It's not worth fighting it. It just isn't. And you got to know when to get in on stuff. What is it? Like Kenny Rogers, when to hold them, when to fold them.
Absolutely.
Right? You got to know when to get in.
I think though, Kathy, if I wait long enough,
it'll come back, and
they're going to come back around. See,
I've heard that, Wes. I've heard that from people. And
Wes is very optimistic, and we appreciate that about him.
But that's the thing too. If you've bought something and you can see all of a sudden the prices, like let's say you held on to it thinking, the price is going to go up on it or whatever, and it just doesn't. It's not going anywhere. Something that you bought maybe on a hunch, or you did some research, you thought this was going to, let's say you got some superhero stuff because there's a new Spider-Man movie coming out, and it comes out and your superhero stuff, you're basically going to get your money back, but you're not going to get the killing that you thought. My advice is sell and get out. Just get the cash and run, because then you can take that money and reinvest and do something with it. It's like, you know what? You're not going to always hit a home run. When you're watching YouTubes and listening to podcasts, it's always like, oh, I made $100 on this. You guys know this. I made $500 on this. I made $1,000. And everybody's like, ah. And they don't talk about, I broke even on this. I lost money on this. You know what is?
Well, we tend to, because we're the best mediocre podcast in the business. So
no, because you're down to earth and you're saying it like it is. But people need to hear that, because otherwise people beat themselves up. They're like, oh, and I'm like, you know what? Get out. At least you get your cash. At least you made your money back. Maybe you made a little profit after paying eBay fees and everybody else's fees. But get out, get the cash, because then you can reinvest.
And we're working on getting Wes out of his Beanie Babies right now. I have them at my booth, so I'm selling them for $5 a piece. But
buy one, get one. Buy one, get one. I was at a trade show in the city, and there was Beanie Babies was there, selling, for boutiques and stuff, because people buy them in person, for Christmas Beanie Babies and Thanksgiving. And I'm thinking, I was sort of tempted to go over and take a picture, but I was like, no.
You all see, everybody laugh at me right now, but you wait. I'm going to be the Beanie Baby king.
Well, it's like Ed Hardy is back in, which I found out because Ed Hardy stuff was hot, and then you couldn't give it away, and now it's back in again. The millennials love it, and all that stuff is coming back in. So juicy couture stuff, those pink running suits that people were running around in, they're back in style. So who knows with Beanie Babies?
Well,
hey, Kathy, can we back up a little bit? I know.
What?
I'd like to actually hear a little bit about your story and how you got started. I know we jumped right into the reselling talk, but I know I and I assume Johnny and Wes, although maybe Wes already knows since he's talked to you before, kind of how you got started and what's your story, so to speak?
So my background is theater. I'm an actress. I've acted off-Broadway, off-Broadway regionally, also on soap operas. I was on All My Children, Another World, and then landed on QVC Shopping Channel for 6 years. I was a product presenter, and I got to work for brands like Brita Water Filters and Krups. Great honor. And QVC, talk about learning about retail and shopping, and you really learned about selling something that people couldn't touch because you were completely, it's so funny with all the live selling now. QVC was doing it way back in the day, but learned a lot. When I was there, I got to watch people like Joan Rivers in action, which was a real joy to watch her. They called her $1 million baby because she could sell $1 million worth of products in an hour. And she was quite a character. Very, very nice, by the way. Very gracious to everybody around her. So she was fun to watch. And
Kathy, when were you on those soap operas?
So the soap operas was in the 80s and the 90s.
Okay.
So I was Nurse Beverly Enright. I was in Erica's plotline. And back in the day, Erica's brother, Mark, but this is going to be one for the soap opera people. He went through a drug dealing phase, and Erica was trying to save him. And so Mark was somewhere being bad, and he came back to Pine Valley, if I remember correctly, is the name of the town that everything happened in. And evil drug dealers were after Mark because I guess he owed them money or something. And they slashed Erica's face when they were trying to, make Mark feel guilty. So she ends up in the hospital. I'm not kidding. She literally had a Band-Aid on her face. This was like the big surgery. And I was her nurse. And this is back in the day when the nurses had the white hats. So I am attending to Erica. And
you got to go in there and just carefully put that Band-Aid on.
Of course, we're tending to Erica. And Susan Lucci, who also is a lovely lady. And the evil drug dealers broke into her hospital room when I was there and kidnapped me. So they kidnapped poor Nurse Beverly. I got to scream. I got the part because I could scream well. And screamed and yelled and carried on and did some other stuff.
So is that the name of the episode? Poor Nurse Beverly Screams or whatever?
I'm sure you could find it somewhere if you get, but I was the nurse that got kidnapped when Erica Kane was in the hospital. So anyway, landed on QVC for 6 years. And what happened for me, Stewart, was my mom started to have a lot of health issues. And my mother was based in New York. I was based in New York, married, my wonderful husband who worked on Broadway for years. And just couldn't be dealing with commuting to QVC, and I'm going on air at 1 a.m, and my mother's in the hospital. It was just, I'm like, this is not what I want to be doing. So really started to take care of her, and then looked around for something I could do part-time, really, really flexible. And eBay was it, because I could do my shipping, go to mom's doctor's appointments, help her with what she needed help with. And it went on for a while. And then after she passed, because her health was fading, then I really looked at, as much as I love show business, the hours are really erratic. You're working at 3 a.m, 1 a.m. It's just it's not the most family friendly schedule. So I said, let me try this eBay thing full time. I had a lot of retail background with QVC and some other things I had done. And so my goal was, if I can go from part-time to full-time, I gave myself 3 years to scale. And I did it in a year. I was full-time. And eBay discovered me. So I started to go on, they had back then a radio show. So I got to be a radio guest, and I was a hit. So I became a regular. And then eBay asked me to present with staff at various events, eBay Open, some e-commerce events. And then I started coaching. I've got a website. I've got a podcast. I've got a YouTube channel. And I started a seller membership. So
that's awesome.
I don't know if
Kathy, what is...
We've had our own little soap opera going on here on
Have you,
Stewart? The theft of a rare wedding marriage certificate. And
now let's get Kathy's take on this. Kathy, I got to get your take on this because Stewart invites me.
I don't know if Stewart's pulling my leg here.
No. Stewart invites me to go with him. Yeah, he goes, Wes, there's going to be this estate sale. I want you to come with me. So it's the first time I met him in person. Okay. So I go with him, we get over there, and I lay hands on this framed wedding certificate from 1912. And all I was doing was asking his opinion. I said, hey, Stewart, what do you think? And I held it up. He grabs it. He goes, yeah, that's great. He turns away from me and sticks it in his bag and walks out of the room with it. Now I'm standing there going, I was going to purchase that, but
Wes's memory how all that happens a little different.
So now, Stewart, you invited Wes to this event. You invited Wes to go shopping with you?
I did.
Okay. So Wes, you were Stewart's guest?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. Yeah. So what's your opinion on all that? What do you think?
And we have different recollections of how all that went down. So.
Oh, I'd love to hear your recollection, Stewart. Go ahead.
What I've always learned is whoever puts their hands on it first, unless, again, the other person has asked for input on it. But you know what, too, with friends, it's like you learn, it's like, you know what? Okay, that's yours, and I'll get the next one. That's a great thing.
We've got our own saga going on.
You're funny. But this with reselling, the great thing is that there's always more and great stuff. I mean, there's so many resources for inventory. And I think that's one thing the pandemic really taught everybody. After we got over the initial, where am I going to source stuff? Unless you had a house full of unlisted inventory. And then it was like, oh, good. Now I've got time to list all this stuff. It's
like you said, too, though, Kathy, we need to be selling things that people want to buy right now. We've got to figure that out, what they're wanting to buy at this point. I don't think a wedding certificate from 1912 is a hot item, but
Oh, now it's not so great. Now it's not a great item.
Until he sells it, then I'm going to be up for 50%.
Very interesting.
Interesting is, you think about what people buying, which honestly something like health and beauty, which is something I source wholesale. It's a great thing about being in the city is that we've got wholesale sources and wholesale source. Which, by the way, with Nashville, I'm thinking Nashville, Atlanta. Atlanta has some great wholesale. There's like the gift show. That kind of stuff for health and beauty is really, really, really good. But honestly, stuff like the unique, quirky, one-of-a-kind stuff, it sells. It's that thing of doing a bit of research, but you know this, you guys, too, is there's times when, and this can be hard for newer sellers, you go with your gut. You look at the thing and you go, this is just so cool. Either it's the colors, it's the design. Now, sometimes it'll be because we'll do Johnny, because it's Baltimore Orioles, but it's like from the 40s or the 50s. And you're going, okay, it's not, like a known player. Again, I'll do Yankees just because I know, it's not Mickey Mantle. You know what I mean? It's not Joe DiMaggio, but it's a unique Yankee thing, let's say like from the 50s. And I'm thinking, okay, this is a long tail item, which means it's going to probably take a while to sell. This is not going to be the thing that flies off the shelf, right? Like an Aaron Judge thing. But it's unique and it's cool. And I'm looking at it. And because I have an idea of it, I know I can come up with good keywords. Because, Stewart, you were talking about sourcing what sells, and Wes, you too. And part of it is listing whatever it is, the eBay t-shirt, the yellow pen, the water bottle, whatever it is that you're listing it with good descriptive keywords so that the search engines, whether you're selling it on Amazon or Walmart or eBay or Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, wherever you're listing it, is that you've got enough really good keywords and keywords that the shoppers use. I'll search stuff and I'll see stuff. I actually flip off eBay, because you see the listing and it's so terrible because they haven't done their homework. But I know what it is because I recognize it from the picture. And I know I can buy it because they've undervalued it. They've listed it for 20 and I know I can sell it for 80 because they didn't do their research about the style, the name, the period, the color, the detail, like the shirt. It has a pocket. Guys like pockets for the most part because they can put stuff in it. It's 100% cotton. It's organic cotton. It has the original buttons and it's vintage from the 50s. All of that stuff matters. And like with Stewart, what you were saying, it doesn't take 20 minutes to look at the buttons and see what the quality is, to flip over and look at the fabric content, because organic cotton is one that tends to sell just because people like it and it tends to be higher end. The manufacturer, it's made in Germany, tends to say, it's not made in China, right? It's made in Italy. It's made wherever it's made. You look at it, there's no chips, there's no crazing on it. The Xbox, the game, that's such an easy one. When you're sourcing games, if you're not really a game person, you take a picture with your phone and you can Google image search. And you can image search on eBay. The other place, you guys, and it's more of a female thing, but it works for guys too. Pinterest, if you're not aware of this, is a really good search engine. and you can image search, not so much for like game stuff, but if you're doing clothing, if you're doing unique vintage, Wes, if you're doing Beanie Babies, because you can upload the picture and it'll image search it. And then you get an idea of what it is, keywords, price, that kind of thing.
Wes's phone doesn't pull the same comps as other people's. So he's got an older phone. Yeah.
Yeah, well.
I
will say that on the other podcast, my phone did ding what they sell, Johnny. Right
this
in the middle
is
of the
true.
podcast.
And actually, I just got a sale, so just hang on a second. See what we got. I was like, yay! I have mine turned down, so it's not too low. It's like, but what?
Kathy, what is the best? What's the best show right now on Broadway or off Broadway if someone's coming to New York City?
Johnny, it depends on Mamma Mia again. Because there's a real variety of stuff. Like back in the day, I would have said, oh gosh, it's not so funny. I'm thinking the one that was about oh God, it was so funny. My husband and I went early in the run, and we ran into Bruce Willis. We were right behind Bruce Willis. There's nothing like running right now that really jumps out at me. Honestly, I wanted to see Once Upon a Mattress because Sutton Foster's in it, who is really funny. I saw her in Sweeney Todd. She was great. But they're just rolling out now, Johnny, because the fall shows are rolling out. So I got to see what's going on. Depends on people's taste because there's a big variety. Hadestown is a really good show. Once Upon a Mattress is good. It tends to be the musicals. I can't think of any like just straight up theater shows. Oh, what's his name? Downey Jr. was doing a limited run on something. I'm sure it's good. I mean, he's such a good actor. I would go see him like read the phone book. He's one of those people. But he's in a limited run.
My wife and I have tickets to the theater here in North Carolina. So we have the like Broadway, the travel.
Yeah.
Like we have the Broadway tickets. So last week was Mamma Mia. And excellent then I think next week is Anne Juliet, which I don't know that we're that excited about, but so we dabble in the theater.
Yeah, Johnny's a little more cultured than Wes and I, as evidenced by the nice plants in the background.
One of my nieces is in the Mamma Mia road tour, so I don't know if she was.
Mamma Mia was fantastic.
Yep, it's a great show. She was the redhead. She's like featured chorus.
That's awesome.
She's out on tour. I think that's her. But no. I'm trying to think.
Esther, at this moment, sponsored by.
I was going to say, now I got to tell her. That's so funny.
Johnny's going to start his own podcast where he just talks about shows and stuff.
Just talks about musicals.
Oh, the one. So I went to see Suffs with my sister. It's more of a girl show. It's really about the history of the suffragette movement, and it's a musical. We decided to go because it turns out that my grandmother, when she was a teenager, marched as a suffragette. So it was like, of course, we got to go and do the homage to grandma. But I hear Water and Elephants, if I'm remembering the name of it correctly, is supposed to be really, really good. It's like a circus. It's like a circus musical, almost like a Cirque du Soleil kind of thing. So if that goes on tour, Johnny, and again, I'm sure some of it will be a little bit different than Broadway just because of space.
Yeah.
We walked by that theater on the way to Suffs, and it was like a line, like people were just queued up to go into that, and they were super excited about seeing it. So that I'm waiting for it just to calm down a little bit, and then we're going to go see it.
So are you a native New Yorker, Kathy?
Oh, yeah.
I was actually born and raised in Virginia. My dad was a civilian with the Pentagon, and then moved to the city after I graduated college. I went to Northwestern University as a theater major. In Chicago, and we love Chicago, so hello to Chicago people, but froze my butt off for 4 years because we were right on Lake Michigan. It's funny, I just met somebody who just graduated from Northwestern. It's cold. Chicago is the Windy City. I mean, it is cold. And I just went, this is great. This is lovely because there's some really good theater there. Second City is there. But I went, it was either LA, like TV film stuff, or New York. And I was a serious actress because I had trained in Shakespeare. Also, my family was East Coast. I figured it would be easier as far as like live with them and commute to New York. So I came to New York. But Chicago was great, but it's like so cold. I was like, I'm out of here. But that was really the big choices for theater then was really like Chicago, LA, New York. I think pretty much it still is. There are hubs that have some really good theater. Atlanta's really good. But those are still really New York back in the time because of all the soap opera and the Broadway, off-Broadway. Chicago really improv, and there's some good legitimate theater there. You've got the Goodman. And then really LA, there is some theater, but really LA is you're going out there for TV and film.
So if we can, Kathy, let's shift gears real quick to the eBay Open and the future of it for next year, because we're hearing Las Vegas next year. Can you kind of dive into it?
They're not going to say, but in the past, so when they did eBay 20, so the history of eBay live events, and you can read it on my blog on ILoveToBeSelling, but so years and years ago, they had what they call was eBay Lives. And people listening, if they're old timers with eBay, they'll remember this, which is eBay would do these huge conferences. I mean, huge in several cities. I mean, we're talking, it had to cost them a bloody fortune. They did it in Philadelphia. They did it in Boston. Somewhere in the Midwest, and I'm sorry, Midwest, I'm forgetting. I'm going to guess Chicago. So they literally did these massive conferences called eBay Lives all around the United States through a year. Then they stopped doing that with John Donahoe. He said, and then the eBay radio show took over and they started doing live events all in Vegas. Then Devin Wenning came on board and he said, no, I'm going to start doing live eBay events, but we're only going to do it in one city. And he started with eBay's 20th anniversary and they did it in San Jose. So this has some people wondering if Jamie Iannone, who's the current CEO, lovely guy, by the way, if he's going to do San Jose as an homage, because the 20th anniversary was in San Jose, will they do the 30th? Also, there's some thought, because most of the senior staff is in San Jose, that it is easier to get, especially for the 30th. You know they're going to want to pull out the stops. I mean, of course, and bring out lots of senior staff. It's a lot easier if they don't have to get on planes, but the convention center there is smaller. The thing that Vegas has going for it, as much as there are people that are rooting for Nashville, they're like Nashville, and other people that are rooting for Orlando, is eBay staff is primarily in San Jose, Salt Lake. There is some in Seattle, there is some in Austin, there is some in New York, but the big hubs are San Jose and Salt Lake. Vegas is closer. It's just, if you're going to, when they do an event, it's like 300 staff. It's not like 5%. It's like a lot. So it's executives, it's staff presentations, and then it's staff support. I mean, it's a lot of staff. Vegas is just a lot easier because they literally take over an entire floor in these hotel convention centers. And when they did them in Vegas, they did at the Venetian, which is fun because if you guys know the Venetian, it's like all the gondolas and everything. So they did the Venetian, they did the MGM Grand, and then there was another one. It was all MGM hotels, so they clearly had a relationship, with MGM, and then stopped. So my suspicion is Vegas, but then the next question is when? Because when they did eBay Opens, it was always July, right? And you can imagine what July in Vegas is like. It's like, bring the bathing suit. But you're indoors the whole time. Yeah, but still, if you go outdoors, it's like, oh my gosh. When they've been doing these virtual events, they've been doing them in late September, sort of keeping an eye on the Jewish holidays and picking a day that gets along with everything. Because I think the staff prefers September because a lot of people go on vacation in July. You know this, a lot of people, you know this with family and stuff. When do you go on vacation? July, August. But they've always done opens in July because my suspicion is it's just easier to do Vegas stuff in July than to do Vegas stuff in September because everybody's back in school. I just think logistic-wise, July is easier. So my guess is Vegas and my guess is July, but they won't announce it. Typically, they don't give a lot of lead time. Typically, they announce like in May. It's like, okay,
wow.
Yeah, But they might think of like weddings, they might do like a save the date thing, which would be nice, eBay, for people that are booking planes.
Yeah.
But we will see. We will see. I mean, I'm letting like the team that plans the events, I'm letting them recuperate, because when you do a big event, like they just did open last week, I mean, I'm sure everybody's like, got their out of office thing on, and they're recuperating, is just saying to them, like, not that we're going to get up before the next year, because I'm sure they got to do contracts with hotels and everything, is to at least get a save the date thing. But yeah, and we don't know how long. Is it going to be 3 days? Is it going to be 4 days? And it's typically weekdays too, you guys. So typically you fly in like a Monday, Tuesday, and typically it wraps like Thursday, Friday.
Yeah,
it'd be nice for me though if it was during the week in the summertime. It's kind of hard for me being
because right. And I got to tell you guys, I mean, I say to everybody, start saving now, because they really are good. And typically, by the way, the hotel rates they get are good. I mean, certainly there's Airbnbs and, all of that thing, but they get a good I mean, the last 2 opens, the hotel prices were very, very good for it. So we will see. But I'm glad all of us were sort of going, it's their 30th anniversary. It's like, eBay, it's your 30th anniversary, do a live event. So I'm glad they decided to do it, because it is a huge, huge undertaking. I don't think people realize the logistics. And at least the last open, the last one that was live, it's not just US staff that's there. They also bring in some European staff. So some of the European guys come in, which is fun. But I'd like to say, so you come in, you register, and they have like the whole expo hall. Well, not only is it full of sponsors, which is great, because then you see all like different tools that you can use for your eBay listings. Typically, each of the big teams has like a booth. So like government relations, which does the lobbying on different government issues, they will have a booth. But for instance, promoted listings, they will have a booth. Customer service literally had like a whole section. And the last year you were there, I think it was part of the eBay Open Sign-Up, you could sign up for a one-on-one with a customer service rep. So they would have your information in advance. So when you showed up for your appointment, they had looked at your account. I mean, they gave you like a whole printout on your account and went over information with you for about, I think it was like about half an hour. It was very good. So Promoted Listings has booth, government, people like listings will do it. There'll be Seller Hub, shipping definitely has a booth. International shipping will have a booth. So what's good is, if you've got issues or you want to learn more, besides all the workshops, there's this big expo hall, and you can go in there and find the team booth that you're interested in and get a chat with them besides the sponsors. That is like my favorite place to hang out. I mean, I love all the workshops and I love seeing everybody, but what I love is getting in there and getting with the teams and really going over stuff and maybe seeing some stuff that's coming up. Everybody's got the laptop, so we're pulling everything up and looking at it. It's really, really good.
Johnny attended an eBay Open. When was that, Johnny? 2 weeks ago? Last week?
The week before. Kathy, This was one of the local little...
Oh, the kickoff party.
Yeah, the kickoff.
Okay, so who was the host for your kickoff party? Do you remember?
Oh, don't ask me questions I don't know the answer to, Kathy.
So what town was it in, Johnny? Do you remember?
It was here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Okay. And they actually set it up in a jewelry store. So it was kind of hoity-toity a little bit there. That. And there was, it was 20 people, but it was 20 like engaged, real, true sellers.
Good.
So it was good.
Good. So we did New York City. So I got to host the New York kickoff party. And what's great with New York, which is going to be different than Greensville or really any of the locations except for San Jose, there's an eBay office in New York City, which a lot of people don't realize. So eBay has offices in New York, Salt Lake City, Austin, in the Seattle area, and then San Jose. So we were able to get a meeting room at the eBay NYC office. So what was great was we got a tour of the office. And then because you've got a lot of team members there, we were able to pull in team members, ones that I know, and then also the woman who helps coordinate all the events, ones that she knew. So we actually had teams presenting, which was great. And then we had a team panel so that people could get their questions answered. Because I really like it when people were able to ask the staff, like, we ended up talking about shipping a lot, which was really interesting. People really wanted to talk about shipping. So we talked about shipping. And so that was really great. And then we did a seller roundtable, which was fun because we have a lot of different, we had like Funko Pop Queen who presented at Open. She was there. So she talked about Funko Pops. We had an eBay Motors seller. So he was talking about that. So we had them all share, and then people asked questions, different things about listing and selling. And then that was it. We had a lot of fun. It was 3 hours. And we also had a daytime meeting, Johnny. Just because you're in an office, do you know what I mean? So I really didn't want to make the staff stay till 10 o'clock at night. So we went 12 to 3, and we got eBay's permission to do a daytime meeting, and did it that way.
That's really cool.
It was fun. And we got another one coming up in April. So if you feel like having an excuse to come to New York, I will give Wes the thing. Same thing too with Stewart. If you feel like, you know what, I just want to see New York City traffic up front and close. Come on in. See a Broadway show on Broadway.
There you go, John.
Maybe see
go
the
to
difference.
Broadway.
Also great rock and roll at Madison Square Garden, so you can go down.
It's been a minute since I've been to Nueva York.
See, New York is.
I have never made it there before.
And there's a lot of good thrifting in the city. There's some really, there's a very large Salvation Army store in the city, but there's one strip, and also for people, if you ever come into the city, East 23rd Street in Manhattan, there's literally half a dozen different thrift stores, all on East 23rd. You can just walk it. There's a Goodwill. Again, they're small. This is not like you're out in the suburbs with these big, giant, mall type thrift stores, but you literally have half a dozen different thrift stores. Some are small nonprofits, which can have really good stuff because people are donating because they're supporting that nonprofit. So it's a good place to thrift.
Kathy, so I have a fun Yankee story for you.
Good. I love Yankee stories, Johnny.
So pre-pandemic, my wife and I, we used to travel a lot. So we, and I have seen every Major League Baseball team at home.
Good for you.
So I've traveled for all that, and we went to New Yankee because I'd been to Old Yankee. I hadn't been to New Yankee. So my wife, because she really doesn't like baseball at all, she likes ballpark food.
Okay.
So she took a picture
and she loves you, Johnny.
Absolutely, right? Exactly. What's not to? So I forgot what she took a picture of. It was like a hot dog or something, but like the stadium in the background, just typical IG girl kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Well, the Yankees had like a photograph your food contest.
Oh, get out of here.
So she's like, well, I have a picture, so I'll submit it. And she won. And so for winning, they actually gave you club level seats behind home plate to go to a Yankee game. So we actually flew back to New York just to go to the baseball game, but they were playing the Orioles. So it was a little bit of a Seinfeld reference where Elaine wore the Orioles hat in the owner's box. We wore Orioles stuff in the Yankees clubhouse with the tickets that the Yankees gave us.
It seems very appropriate. Now, my next question is, was it a bobblehead day?
It was not. But I do.
Yes.
So that game wasn't. The previous game was. So I do have a Roger Maris.
See?
I forgot which one it is, but it's still in a box in the garage.
Because that's the fun thing with the bobbleheads, and you know this too when you're attending the Orioles games, is if there's really cool swag on that day, that literally, this, while people are sitting in their seats, because you'll see it on eBay, they're taking pictures of the bobblehead and putting it on eBay, because you'll see the picture, you can tell they're in the stadium.
Yeah.
Because the faster you can get it listed, before everybody's got their bobbleheads up or whatever they're giving away, the faster it sells.
Yeah,
as soon as you walk to the gate, Johnny, just go ahead and put the picture.
That's it.
Or if they're giving out, the tote, the hoodie, they're doing football jerseys. I mean, they do so much cool stuff. But especially if it's the bobbleheads, this. People love the bobbleheads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my brothers actually recently did that. We went to a Tennessee Smokies game, which is the minor league Cubs affiliate here in Knoxville. And they were doing a Dalton Connect, who played for Tennessee in basketball, and he just got drafted by the Lakers. They did a Dalton Connect bobblehead. Unfortunately, I couldn't get there early enough to get in line. I had something else to do, but they both got there at like 2, waited in line, got them, took the pictures, like you said, in the seats and sold them before the game was over.
Yep.
So,
I mean, you can literally pay for your tickets sometime with what you're getting, or a good part of it. At least get some of the good food and get enough money for the food.
Mm-hmm.
That's the great thing, and especially being first to market. You guys know this is that when you are at an event, it can be a rock concert, sporting event. I mean, whatever it is, because I remember, come on, royal wedding. I mean, maybe you guys aren't royal wedding people, but something like the royal wedding, which I thought was hysterical. Everything now has a swag bag. Everything. You know what I mean? And you would think royal wedding, you're getting a swag bag? Yes. And so people are selling their royal wedding swag. Again, eBay. And I'm thinking, are they like in the cathedral taking pictures? You see this? But if it's a celebrity event, opening night, Johnny. So if you're at a Broadway show and if you're at the opening night, there's an insert they put in the show. They used to do opening night programs. Okay. So back in the day, when you would go to the shows, like I'm going to say even like the 80s, it would be a special opening night program because it would say opening night. It was like limited edition, just that day. Those were like gold. Now what they do is they do an insert and it'll be a page in the program opening night and it has the date of the opening. Same thing too. Those will sell because only people and if you attend opening night, you're sitting there, because I've done it, you're sitting there trying to grab 9 or 10 of the programs and they keep them in good shape. So it's like you've got like a nice plastic bag or something in your tote bag and you're putting them in so they don't, because you know this, if it gets destroyed going home and then it's wrinkled, oh no.
Forget it. Yeah.
Right?
Kathy keeps running back going, yeah, I didn't get one of those. Can I have one?
And then you
I had a friend whose daughter went to a Taylor Swift concert, and they were dropping confetti from the ceiling, and she grabbed the confetti, took pictures of it to prove it came from the concert, and then sold it on eBay for like $75, like a handful or something. I mean, something crazy.
Yep. But it was smart that she took the picture. You know, so it's like with the art world where they call it the Provence, but you can prove. Yeah, it's funny.
Although, I don't know if they did it or not, but she had the picture and it was just plain old confetti. She could have used that same picture with a bag of confetti. Then she
has integrity, Stewart. She hasn't. Oh, the other thing is we're talking about seasonal. When there's seasonal candy, Halloween is perfect, but they do it for Christmas too. So in Knoxville, they might have tons of, and I'm going to make stuff up, you know, the Halloween themed Reese's Pieces peanut butter cups. You know, there's a Halloween one with Halloween packaging, or if they do a special flavor. So maybe they do a scary peanut butter, whatever. In your area, it might be really, really, really common. Like you're going, you see it everywhere. You see it at Walmart, you see it but people in New York don't, or people in Kansas don't, or so it may be common in your area, but it's not nationwide. So when you see an unusual candy, almost like a limited edition thing, but particularly the Halloween candies, a lot of them, they'll do limited edition flavors, and you'll get the same thing at Christmas, but big time at Halloween. One is watch your expiration date, okay? Because, of course, we never sell food stuff after expiration. No. But take a look at it because people love their candy and they love their candy flavor and they will pay top dollar because in their area, Kansas, Montana, North Dakota, New York City, they can't get it. So they will pay you. And a lot of times people like to shop. They would rather shop eBay with a small business seller than go on that A site that we won't talk about and other big sites. They would rather get it on an eBay. So that's a good one to get. Because I've had people and I'm going, really? Like that candy? And they're going, yeah, because it's not everywhere.
Stewart, do they have like gummy Dolly Parton heads at Dollywood or something like that?
Dolly candy.
Dolly candy.
I don't think so, but
he's going up next week to check it out.
But I bet she's got some stuff that is unique to her now, of course, because so many people go to Dollywood. It's like coming to New York. So like I'm going to pick a show that was running forever, Phantom of the Opera, Cats. If you saw stuff like that, the problem is they have websites. So all the big Broadway shows have a website. So because you go to Hamilton, 9 times out of 10, anything that you see, it's on their website. But again, if you were their opening night or a special anything, they have things called Actors Fund benefits. I mean, sometimes there's a special performance. Johnny, even like if it's the road show and stuff, there could be something special, that a special program that they're doing. Like with Taylor Swift, there could be something special for this city because maybe part of the funds are going to a no-kill dog shelter or something. And people will buy it that are big fans. Like Mamma Mia has a huge following. If it's something that's official branding, it's not a knockoff, that's unique for that performance, that event, that whatever. Again, New York City, Radio City Music Hall, the Christmas show. There's stuff that's standard. Oh, we got another cha-ching. We're doing good. There's stuff that's like their standard stuff, but there are things, perhaps they have a special gift set they put out at Christmas that's not on their website that you can only buy locally. And you keep an eye out for stuff like that.
So, Stewart, we need to run out to the local stores and pick up those Duncan Hines cake mixes that have Dolly's name plastered all over it in her life.
See, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But again, go on. Stewart, just like we were saying, again, we love Dolly, but I doubt her cake mixes are selling for $60, but you could probably double your money, is just go on and check. And the other thing is when you're searching that, because I was looking at a Pokemon magazine when it was featured on Time Magazine, some will sell more than others. So I noticed like with the Pokemon, like the orange one was selling, I'm going to make up a dollar amount, like $50, but the yellow Pokemon was only selling for $30. So always check, just because it's the Pokemon or the Dolly or, the Baltimore Orioles. Sometimes, like with the Orioles, with the baseball cards, it depends on their uniform. It depends if it's the rookie card. You got to check all that stuff because it's going to matter. But this has been fun. What's selling for you, Stewart?
Well, I deal mostly in all vintage and antiques, so I sell a lot of china and flatware. And then I have 3 antique malls here in the Knoxville area. So, I have an outlet for furniture and artwork, things that are, I've sold some bigger things on eBay, but it's a lot easier to put them in the booth.
I was thinking of both, but I'm thinking too the flatware, again, because you're going to know your pattern and everything. I've got a friend, Michael Swope, I'm going to give Michael a shout out, who's one for silver. So they sell the modern patterns because they have a relationship with the manufacturers, but they'll sell vintage too. And I know that Thanksgiving, Christmas is huge for tabletop. I mean, huge, because all of a sudden you're like, I've got an 8-piece place setting and I need to do 10 or 12 because I've got more company coming this year. Or the fork, like it got thrown out in the garbage somehow, and I need the fork. So all of a sudden there's a surge. That is something to source and to look at, is that it sells much more this time of year, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then New Year's, because people are throwing New Year's parties.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, though. As far as china and flatware both, like I don't try to sell much in the way of full sets. It's all pieced out because for the exact reason you said, you drop the fork in the disposal or you drop one of your dinner plates. So, you inherited china from grandma and it's missing 2 plates. So, yeah, people are looking to fill out sets. Really nobody buys full sets anymore. It's
good to know.
Kathy, he's known as the China King of Knoxville.
See, now I know, Stewart. The China King. So I come to Knoxville, I know where to go. But that's the thing too. Like on eBay, Stewart, if you're not aware of it, you could do like volume pricing without too much work. And you don't need an eBay store to do volume pricing. Okay. So to run a sale, you do. You need to have a store. That's when you get the slash pricing, like 20% off. But volume, so like if I had 4 teaspoons and I know the pattern, which again, because we're talking keywords, so I've got the pattern name. I know whether it's stainless. I know if it's silver. I know whatever it is. And it's all in the title. And maybe calling out some detail about it. But then I can list all 4 in the one listing, but the listing is for 1, but they can buy 4. And then I give them a discount when they buy more than 1. That kind of thing I think works well for flatware, also for the dishes. You put it in with 1s and 2s, and then they get more off if they buy more than 1.
Yeah, and I already do that with the multi-quantity discounts. And you're right, because usually dinner plates I list just singles, and some of the smaller ones like bread plates I might sell them as a pair. But and people can buy multiple quantity and they'll automatically get the discount.
And that way, if they want the extra one, they might see that you have it and they're getting that extra 10 or 15% off. I mean, people don't do volume pricing. Again, it has to be the exact same item. This is not multi-variation. Multi-variation is you got the eBay shirt, and you got it in black, and you've got it in red. So they can buy black, they can buy red. That's a multi-variation listing. Multi-quantity is I've got 6 of the yellow pen, and I'm going to put the pen up, and you can buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or whatever, and you save money the more you buy. So you get maybe 5, 10, 15 off, or 10, 15, 20, whatever you want. And like if I know I need the 1 teaspoon, and I'm going to get, let's say, 15%, because Stewart is a very generous seller. He's giving me 15% off the second. I might buy the 2 because I'm going, you know what? We always lose these things. You know, it's a pain to find them at times. Yay, Stewart's got a couple. Let me grab both because then I've got an extra.
Well, and then
you're in good shape. And then when Wes throws it in the garbage,
it would be Wes that would throw it in the garbage. So that.
But volume pricing is really good for a lot of different things. I mean, anytime where you think like, would somebody buy more than one of these? It's a good thing to do. And the other thing is to not do it that way. Now, flatware, that would not be true. But you do what's called scarcity pricing. So yes, I have 4 of them, but I don't want people to know I have 4 of them. So I just list the 1. Then when it sells, I hit relist and I list it again. Because people look at it, Johnny goes, oh, she's only got 1. Gotta have it, right? I've got to have my Mamma Mia memorial program from opening night because it'll just wow my wife.
There's a mighty fine teaspoon you have there, Stewart.
See? And you grab it. So it can work either way. But volume pricing, eBay, when it first came out, they really, really pushed it. And they had a lot of data about how it increased sales and the buyers loved it. And they do. So it's a good deal. And you don't need an eBay store. So for sellers that aren't ready for an eBay store, don't want an eBay store yet, if you have an item that's good for volume pricing, it's really worth taking a look at.
Well, Miss Kathy Terrill, thank you so much for joining us this evening on the Finders Flippers Resell Podcast. We really appreciate you coming here.
Wes, I know Johnny, what do you sell?
Mostly clothes.
Guys' clothes, women's clothes, everything?
It's my wife and I sell together, but she's full-time and I'm part-time. So the majority of our listings are women's clothes, but we've really stepped up our efforts in the men's category. So we do.
Good, because men's, seriously, men's, as much as we love the ladies and everything, men's is good money.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is good, especially because you got all the sneakerheads coming in.
Yep.
Men's is good money. Yep. That's my tip. Men's is good money.
Men's is good money. Well, Kathy, can we get you to come back at some point again?
Anytime the Yankee comes in, I'm glad to come in.
Kathy, I'm a Western New Yorker, by the way.
Oh, cool.
I'm originally from Buffalo.
No, somebody who knows cold weather. I've been. And are you a Bills fan?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Oh, good. I mean, my husband loves the Bills. And what I love with the Bills, we'll do this another thing, because back to the football. You know, I love watching the Bills games because it's out. If you guys don't know, it's an outdoor stadium the way Wisconsin is. And just to watch, especially when Florida comes up to play the Bills. It's so much fun.
Well, no, that's honestly, that's real football playing it outside. Like
and the Bills, I mean, like, do you remember like last year there was some game where there was something like 2 feet of snow on the ground? They just postponed it for a day. There was still like a foot of snow, but they moved enough of the snow off the field.
Yeah, they beat my Steelers. I was not too.
We're a hardy group. We're a hardy group, Gav.
Yes,
isn't that the one, Johnny, where they brought the fans in to clean out the stadium?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
$15 an hour.
Right, exactly. They were paying people $50. Right, and listen, local economy, go for it. They're like, yes, but Bills fans are. And you always see the guys too with no shirt on from the waist up, and it's like 5 below. And my husband even goes like, "What are they drinking that they can do that?"
Of course, now the new stadium's going to have like the roof over.
I know they said partial roof because I'm sure the Bills fans are going, like
they won't have to clean out the stands now. So
yeah, but especially when the weather's really bad. I mean, that way they can play. But again, I saw that too. We were like partial roof for the Bills. Are you serious?
Yeah, maybe the field will get popped, but maybe the stands will be clean. So,
But it's a pleasure.
Well, Kathy, again, thank you so much. We're going to have you back at some point really soon. Your time this evening on the Finders Flippers Resell Podcast.
My joy. And I'll definitely have some kind of blog coming out like in the next month with fourth quarter, tips and stuff, but people can check it out. It's ILoveToBeSelling. But excuse me, I've got a YouTube, a podcast, and basically you Google me, you find me, but people can message me if they've got like questions, if there's like an eBay thing, they've got a question on or something. But I love
Kathy, where can we find your soap opera and old QVC shows?
You know what's so interesting? I'm sure all my children, but it ran for so many years, Johnny. I just don't know what shows they uploaded.
Do you have an IMDb page?
I do. Oh God, you're good. He knows his stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think all my children, I can't remember what's in my loop because I do have a loop up.
Kathy, the internet will find it. Find
that episode though, Kathy. You gotta give us the episode.
There's a funny other thing, but my Law and Order, one of my Law and Orders is on there, so you'll enjoy that.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that I was one step ahead of you, Johnny. I looked at her IMDb page earlier.
Oh, so you guys are good.
That's when he zoned out for about 3 minutes.
Good. You guys know your stuff. I'll do my Law and Order stories next time because I got to work with Sam Waterston. What a classy guy.
Did you get to meet Jerry Orbach?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, so the next time we have you on, we're going to take a deeper dive into it.
So Jerry Orbach lived in my neighborhood. So I live in the theater district. He lived in the theater. Great guy. And my husband worked with him. He worked with him on 42nd Street.
That's
great guy. Down to earth, kind, nice, hardworking actor, talented actor. People don't realize he did musicals. He did and he sang. He sang and he
was the Candlestick.
He's a good performer. He is missed. Also, from my understanding, an excellent poker player.
Oh.
So
the next time we have you on, maybe you can give us some acting lessons and teach us like we do the soap opera faces for like episodes, and Wes can put some dramatic music in the background.
There's no way that
how soap operas help me with my eBay selling.
Maybe we could role play some scenes and Kathy can let us know who the best actor is in that group.
Johnny went to Mamma Mia, so we'll have to be singing some Mamma Mia songs.
Right,
I'll work on my ad.
We're going to replay some of your scenes. Johnny, you've got it right there.
You guys are right. You guys are good though. IMBD. I'm like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes, we'll be
I have
next
this
time for that.
I have all my union cards. We are a union household, baby. I've got my acting union cards, everything.
I like it. I love watching a movie and then like trying to figure out where it was filmed. And then I go to IMDb and look up the locations.
See, that's so funny because what I've learned is we're always watching movies too. And we're with our phones is I go to the Wikipedia page because typically on the Wikipedia page, again, if it's a really old movie, it's not so good. It will tell you, like it'll say there's a box called production. Mm-hmm. So that way you know if it was in the studio locations. And a lot of times they'll list they're not going to tell you the streets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That
IMDb will.
Yes. And that's, there's tours in the city. I'm sure the same thing in Tennessee. But you can go on tours where they'll take you around. Like when Sopranos was really hot, they would take you to some of their locations. Seinfeld, I don't think they do it anymore. There used to be a Seinfeld tour where even though Seinfeld, if you don't know, was filmed in L.A., but they did a lot of exterior shooting in New York. Mm-hmm. The soup Nazis in my neighborhood. And people still go by there. No soup for you.
Soup for you.
But they had a Seinfeld tour for years with different locations and stuff. So
they do that in Knoxville, and they go, "This." Yeah,
they do that
in Knoxville. Yeah, and they go, "This is the China King of Knoxville's house," and everyone takes pictures.
Here we go. It's like Beverly Hills when they do the celebrities. So we go, here's the China King. Here's the Beanie Baby King.
The two actors I know that came out of Knoxville were David Keith, who was in An Officer and a Gentleman.
Yep.
And he grew up like right down the road from me.
Yep.
Yeah, he grew up real close to me and Stewart.
And then Johnny Knoxville, of Jackass fame, went to the same high school as me. So.
And I went to church with Johnny Knoxville. So.
Yeah, his brother, my brother, and him played all their sports together. So that's
right.
Yeah.
So
Kathy, this is where they get a little carried away about their Knoxville reminiscing. So
Wes, you remember hanging out? You remember hanging out down at the putt with Johnny Knoxville?
I do. I remember that. I sure do. Chapman Highway.
What is
Here we
this
go.
segment brought to you by, Johnny?
Visit Knoxville.com.
You guys are right. Listen, I got to get back to dinner.
Kathy, thank you.
This has been
Thank you so much, Kathy.
Absolutely a joy. Anytime.
We appreciate it.
See you later.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Well, that is all the time that we have this evening on the Finders Flippers Resell Podcast. Again, gentlemen, what a great guest we had this evening.
That was fun.
It was. I really loved having Kathy on. Hope we can get her back again. Maybe dive a little deeper into the whole acting thing. And hey, it'd be great to get some free acting lessons out of this. It can only help the podcast going forward. So
I'm looking forward to doing that. We just run through an entire script with her, the whole scene.
We could be the next Luke and Laura.
Luke and Laura.
Yeah, big thanks to Kathy for coming on from ILoveToBeSelling. Really enjoyed that episode. Learned a lot about eBay, and looking forward to having her back on. Maybe we can get some free acting lessons next time she's on. Can only help us going forward. And anyway, great show. Really enjoyed it, and looking forward to next week.
All right, gentlemen. Well, have a great week.
Bye, guys.